guys, it's Jamie, your crafty DIY guy, and I'm back. And this time I've got a really simple, craft. I'm tempted to call it a quickie craft, but if you followed me in the past, you know that when I do my quickie crafts, I always have this voice. I do it like this when we're talking about quickie crafts. But I'm not going to do that this time. Instead, I'm just going to give you me. So for this project, you are going to need a floral pick of some kind. You're going to need some burlap ribbon. You're going to need a piece of some kind of holiday ribbon. This is the one that I grabbed. I thought it was really, really cute. And then you're going to need 2 of these metal wreath holders. And you want to get them in the same color. It doesn't matter which color you want. I chose the red for this project. And I'm so excited about it. Can I hang these on here? Oh, I can. Maybe that can be a Halloween costume sometime. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your wreath hangers and literally just snap off the ends here. This is the piece that would go typically over the door. This one was a little tough to get off at first, but then with a couple bends, it did finally pop off. This one, for whatever reason, just ended up snapping off really quickly. So you also want to just go back through with your trimmers there, your wire cutters, and just make sure that you've got all these sharp edges kind of smoothed out. The other thing you may want to do, like I did here, is just kind of pound down those edges and make sure you don't have anything sticking up. You could also take a piece of sandpaper if you wanted to and just kind of smooth those edges down a little bit more. The next thing that you're going to want to do is just kind of get rid of those pieces. You could save them for another project, certainly, if you wanted to. Now, this next part, you're going to laugh, but unfortunately, my E6000 tube is on its last leg, and I am literally having to pump the glue out from the side because of I'm having some issues with the nozzle there at the top. So go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and make fun of me. If you love me, send me some glue. And I am going to squeeze a little bit of glue out of the side here. I'm going to first straighten up these skis, get them nice and flat. There's a little bit of bend there, and I want them to glue together nicely. So go ahead and squeeze a little bit of E6000 glue out of the side of your tube like I'm doing here. Once you get this in a good place, you may also want to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of hot glue. This will help that E6000 to dry a little bit faster. And of course, you have to make sure you have some glue in your glue gun in order for it to come out. Now it looks like it's finally starting to come out there. Maybe not. Okay, now we're doing something. Getting a little going. There we go. This voiceover is great, isn't it? And now finally, I have some glue out. And then you just kind of stick your skis down in a crisscross fashion there and go ahead and spread them out, get them to the kind of desired look you want, and then set them aside with something weighted down. The burlap ribbon that I had I thought was a little too thick, so I did go ahead and cut it into a skinnier strip. Then you're going to want to go ahead and tie a bow. Now, I do my bows just like this, just like you're seeing here. And I do it kind of freeform, and I do it off of the item most of the time, just so I can kind of get that shape. I do a traditional, almost like you're tying your shoe bow. I pull it really tight in the middle. I kind of manipulate that knot around and manipulate those legs of the bow, if you will. And then I kind of play with the ends and get them nice and round. Again, manipulating that center knot, making sure that it's pretty tight, kind of pulling as I can, holding sometimes those loops between a couple fingers, and then again, just making that center knot nice and tight. And then I kind of squeeze it together and fluff it and kind of pull these bow legs down. And then I literally just go ahead and repeat the same thing in this process with the silk ribbon. And again, kind of manipulating it, tying like I'm tying a shoe, and then kind of repeating that same process, pulling, making that knot perfect, getting those ends looking good. And then I glue them on top of each other. I literally took the burlap ribbon, glued it to the pick, and then glued the silk ribbon on top of it. Now I'm just kind of trimming those edges up, getting them kind of in a nice shape and form that I like. And then the center of the skis, you can see I wrapped it with burlap, and I did that for two reasons. One, it keeps it sturdy, and two, it gives me a place to stick my pick to in the center. The hot glue is going to adhere better to that burlap than it would just the metal itself, and so that random piece of ribbon out of the way. And then a generous helping of hot glue in the center there, all over this burlap center, and then push the pick down on top of it. I do this working around the pine cone, as I don't want to crush that, and then I set that aside and let it dry for a little while. The last thing I wanted to do was have something to hang the skis from, and then also have a nice glue gun burn there. The nautical rope that I'm using has 3 pieces of rope per section, and I went ahead and pulled off one of those. So I just have 2 pieces that are bound together, and I just kind of made sure that they were glued on the end. And then I'm simply just going to tie it around on each one of the ends of the skis. And there you have it. I took the nautical rope, but just wrapped it around the end of those skis and tied it off in a knot. You've got the floral pick in the middle. If you're not a floral designer like me, these are great for doing these quick projects with. I'm pretty happy with the results.